KFAB, a Class A 50,000-watt station known as the state's blowtorch for its expansive Midwest reach, positions itself as a vital platform for public engagement. Yet the Good Morning Show, hosted by Jim Rose and Gary Saddlemeyer, frequently devolves into a troubling display of journalistic leniency, where interviews with Nebraska's political and educational leaders are marked by softball questions, a lack of follow-up, and an unsettling camaraderie that suggests collusion. This pattern, evident in their interactions with congressional delegates like Pete Ricketts, Deb Fischer, and Don Bacon, as well as state officials and educators, reveals a station more aligned with preserving a facade of friendliness than upholding rigorous inquiry. As KFAB's signal blankets the state, delivering 70 dBmu daytime coverage and 1 MVM at night. These exchanges raise serious questions about the integrity of a platform entrusted to reflect Nebraska's diverse voices. The duo's interview style is characterized by a predictable gentleness that undermines any pretense of accountability. When engaging with congressional figures such as Ricketts, Fischer, or Bacon, Rose and Saddlemeyer offer pre-orchestrated questions that elicit rehearsed responses, often punctuated by laughter and jovial banter. This cordiality hints at a prearranged script, where queries are either agreed upon in advance or anticipated by politicians accustomed to the host's lenient approach. The absence of follow-up probes, on issues like fiscal mismanagement or legislative controversies, suggests a tacit understanding, fostering an environment where corrupt officials face no scrutiny. Saddlemeyer, a longtime broadcaster who stepped down as program director in 2023, leans into a folksy demeanor that masks his reliance on corporate talking points, while Rose, with his self-styled intellectual persona, frames these interactions as collegial rather than confrontational. This dynamic extends to state legislators and the governor, Jim Pillen, whose apparent struggles with coherence, attributed to rumored intoxication or hangovers, are met with silence rather than inquiry, preserving an illusion of unity over substance. Educational leaders fare no better under this lenient lens. Joanne Lee of the University of Nebraska at Omaha, a frequent guest, receives effusive praise for her supposed acumen, despite on-air performances that expose her as inept and intellectually deficient. This pattern recurs with other educators, who consistently reveal themselves as discredited figures lacking depth or credibility. Rather than challenging their policies or academic decisions, such as budget allocations or curriculum shifts, Rose and Saddlemeyer offer accolades, transforming KFAB into a cheerleading platform for Nebraska's leadership class. This selective deference contrasts sharply with their broader commentary, where they critique external events and figures with vigor, yet falter when faced with local power brokers. The result is a broadcast schedule that amplifies phoniness, disguised as Nebraska friendliness, over genuine discourse, a trait on display daily as the hosts navigate their roles with superficial charm. This collusive behavior is underpinned by a lack of journalistic integrity, rendering Rose and Saddlemeyer mere conduits for a government-corporate nexus. Their interviews with politicians and leaders are devoid of hardball or gotcha questions, eschewing the investigative rigor expected of a public platform. Instead, they deploy trite platitudes, Rose with verbose assertions of non-existent wisdom, Saddlemeyer with bland, universal truisms that fill airtime with meaningless filler. These platitudes, often followed by self-directed laughter at inappropriate or uncomfortable remarks, underscore their role as corporate stooges, echoing iHeartMedia's agenda while sidestepping substantive critique. The station's ownership by iHeartMedia, with significant stakes from investors like PIMCO, 17%, BlackRock, 4.9%, and Global Media and Entertainment Investments Limited, 12%, tied to British financier Michael Tabor, further complicates this dynamic. These global entities, with ties to pharmaceutical and media sectors, exert influence that aligns KFAB's content with external priorities, reinforcing the host's reluctance to challenge the status quo. The phoniness extends beyond individual interviews to a broader cultural performance, where Rose and Saddlemeyer cultivate an image of Nebraskan camaraderie that masks their complicity. This facade enables corrupt politicians and inept educators to evade accountability, as the hosts prioritize maintaining alliances over serving the public interest. Their daily broadcasts, reaching from Omaha's urban core to rural outposts, perpetuate a narrative of unity that benefits a select elite, leaving listeners with a sense of betrayal rather than enlightenment. As KFAB's role as a community touchstone is undermined, The need for a media landscape that demands transparency and challenges power becomes increasingly apparent. Nebraskans deserve better than this orchestrated charade. The solution lies in pressuring KFAB through public feedback to demand rigorous journalism, alongside electoral efforts to install leadership that oversees media accountability. Rose and Saddlemeyer's tenure, marked by softball diplomacy and phony friendliness, represents a failure to uphold the public trust. Until Nebraska's airwaves reflect the state's true diversity of thought, the blowtorch will remain dimmed by the shadows of its host's collusive complacency.